Hi, welcome to StoryHive On Location, Penticton. I'm Robb, and we're live in Penticton with another episode brought to you with support by TELUS STORYHIve. Today we're sitting in Penticton with one of the upcoming punk bands that is creating waves within this music scene, and they're called Stuck in Neutral. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Not too bad.
We've got the good old Nardwar style going on today with the microphones, so we'll be passing it back and forth. So,
I want to have it first.
yes. Well, first of all, let's dive into. We'll go down the line with who you are and how you got into music.
Okay.
Initially, so.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Wyman. I got into music when I was about 15 years old. I picked up my father's acoustic guitar and liked Nirvana, and led me down a path of playing music till I'm old now. That's how I got into it.
My name is Matt Lindsay. How did I get into music? I don't know. I was born, and then when the first time I heard music, I loved it, and I just wanted to hear more, and so kept listening to it, and then eventually we started playing music, and now here we are. Jeff?
Love it.
Jeff Hansen. I started playing when Jeremy asked me to come play bass. And we just never stopped.
Sort of.
My name is Scott Cudney. I got into music, it was fairly early on. Buddies of mine had a band. They had a drummer that was showing up and not showing up. Lucky for me that he left his kit behind, and so I would jump in on the kit, and that's kind of how I learned how to play. And from there, it was kind of in my blood. Needed to keep on playing, so 30 some odd years later, here we are.
That's crazy. So you guys you two have played together for a long time. The three of you?
Well, the three of us, it started with him and I. He'd come to my house, and we'd play up in my bedroom. He'd bring his guitar, and he'd play a song. I'd try to sing along, and eventually he was like, "Hey, I found a drummer, and we should start a band." I was like, "Okay." And that was probably, 97 or 98?
No, it had to be before that because our album was in like 98
He was 99.
or 97. What year was it, Jeff?
I don't know. I have to look at the...
No.
And it's been a while. It's been almost 30 years, so.
Working together.
Yeah.
How is that experience? Having that bond, because that's a bond that's a length of bandship that most people never achieve.
Weird, eh? Mm-hmm. But we took like a 20-year hiatus where we lived our lives, so that got us like through these people are annoying times. So now we're old and we don't care anymore, so we can get along all right. As much.
Although, we always kind of did play, it wasn't,
Yep, that's true.
wasn't always consistent, but we would get together and play in various places with a bunch of different people.
Yeah,
over the years.
We're like the literal get the high school band back together 20 years later, and here we are. Yeah.
That's awesome. So have you guys always been stuck in neutral, or was that what you created when you came back?
Always. Yeah,
That's
since
awesome.
we were like, I think Jeff came up with the name.
Yeah, in high school.
In high school.
15 years old or something.
Well, how is the experience diving into a group of musicians that have played together for so long and trying to be the new guy?
It was awkward. It was awkward. I mean, and sometimes I still have some awkward moments with these guys. The friendship that goes back so long, I get lost in some of their jokes sometimes. It's just I don't understand some of the things that they talk about from what happened 20 years ago, and it's like, all right, I'll just let that one go. I mean, this is between them, right? But no, they've welcomed me. I've had to learn a lot about their sense of humor and get a little thick-skinned. I mean, everything's a joke, everything's funny. Nothing you say is going to be safe. You are probably going to get burnt with these three guys. I've been able to figure them out. I've got a couple of shots in myself, but I mean, really, at the end of the day, these guys are masters of burning people. So I mean, you've got to be careful. You're going to talk to one of them, and it's really fun. These guys are really fun guys. I think the four of us have come together pretty well. And I think we play well together. I think our interests are lined up, and I think that this is something that we will end up moving forward through the next however many years until, again, life throws another curveball at us with retirements and things like that. I mean, I'm 51, and so I'm the oldest, yeah. So I kind of play the responsible one for the most part. So, but going back to the original question, yes, I played with these guys for about 6 months or so. Then I ended up taking on another project in West Kelowna for 4 years kind of thing. And
Isn't that long?
yeah,
Holy.
and then in 2002, Matt sent me a text saying, "We got a gig in a month. How do you feel about maybe playing? Go learn a 45-minute set in 4 jam sessions." So our 5th jam session, we played at the Brexic or the Brit Pub, whatever it's called. Yeah. So we played out there, and after that, we just kind of kept playing. And now what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kind of 4 years later, we're still kind of having fun. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, as the drummer, how hard is it to find a studio to get into your tracks and then have them send it to you guys to mix and master?
So this is a little bit, the answer is going to be a little bit different than what you're actually looking for. When I was with the other band in West Kelowna for years, the studio where we recorded at was Empire Sonic. That was my old jam space, and so I knew Evan and Bill Ferguson from Empire Sonic, and when we decided that we were going to record with Empire Sonic, it was actually like kind of going home for me. And so I knew Evan. He understood what kind of music we were dealing with. I sent him a bunch of different tracks of other recordings that kind of, it allowed him to focus on the sound that we were kind of looking for after I spoke with these guys. So finding an engineer to be able to, track the drums and things like this, it was pretty easy with Evan. It did take a while. We recorded this album back in March of 2025, and it wasn't until January of this year where it actually was finished and released. There's a lot of things that we need to go back and deal with, but at the end of the day, we're happy with how it turned out. We have plans to do some more recording. Will it be another full-length album? I think the idea right now is to maybe go after a couple singles and try to throw out a few of the older songs that just didn't make it on this album just due to time constraints and things like that, right? But no, we're definitely going to go back in. We're going to get some of these some of the songs recorded. We got four or five new ones that we're kind of working on. And so, yeah, we're definitely pushing forward. We're pushing the envelope of creativity. Jeremy's pushing me to do stuff I don't like, but we're working on it.
I assume diving into different time signatures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's always super fun, yeah. So he's pushing me out of my comfort zone a little bit, but we'll get there.
That's awesome.
And so, but no, we definitely have a plan moving forward, and it does include recording and some single releases. And so we're going to be working on that. We do have a couple shows coming up. That's the one thing that really kind of hindered us in the creative process is we played a lot of shows, and so we're always show ready, getting a set list down, getting a show ready, and then we found ourselves 6 months in, and we haven't written any new songs, or we haven't worked on any of the songs that we've kind of sort of had, sort of put together kind of thing. So we committed to 2 gigs. We have one on the 13th at the Hub with the Bifurcated and Hardball. We have another one in July with the Flannel Contract and a band from the island called Danger Box. We played with those guys last year at the Hub. But I think we're going to limit our gigs this year only to spend more time writing, and then hopefully getting back in the studio and knocking off a couple of these songs here. So I think for the rest of the year, most of our focus is going to be writing and then getting into the studio and putting some more music out for you guys.
So, individually, do you guys have different influences, or are you all influenced by roughly the same style or genre?
I like almost everything. So I'm influenced by like a lot of different things. Punk is definitely, up there at the top of the list kind of thing, but a lot of different things. So I think that comes out once in a while. Jeremy?
So we kind of consider ourselves like, oops,
You're good.
a mess of different genres circling around punk. It's kind of like if you say took this animal that had all these different parts from different other animals.
Go on.
And stuck it together and made this one singular animal from all these different parts. We're kind of like that.
A platypus.
Oh,
Yeah.
You guys are a platypus of the music scene.
Yes. Wow. That is very.
You're welcome.
That was that. You actually pried that out of him. Yeah. That was that.
I've been waiting to say that.
That is awesome.
That is stuck in neutral spirit animal right there.
I love it.
The platypus, yeah. And yeah, I'm the bill, I guess.
It's a punk rock platypus.
He's trying to get us to make a shirt with a platypus.
It might be coming, so.
That's awesome.
Oh, maybe.
We're gonna change the subject here. I'm not talking about platypuses. But going back to your question about influences, what initially brought us together when we were at the Dogwood or Dogtown Cafe, we started talking about bands that influenced us, bands that we like to listen to, things like that. And there was a very specific bands that we all listened to. I mean, you got No Effects, you got Bad Religion, you got No Use for a Name, you got Propagandy, Lagwagon. I mean, the list goes on and on. And these are all bands that we grew up with, the four of us. And then you start talking about other things like, some of the harder rock stuff, like I love Alexis on Fire, and these guys do too, right? But I mean, as you start getting into more, it's like, oh, I like a little bit of this, I like a little bit of that, but the core of what we do is centered around similar bands. And so we had a very good idea of how we were going to be moving forward with me being injected into Stuck in Neutral. It was something that worked out really well. I mean, as a kid, I listened to SNFU and DOA and the Misfits, and these guys all listen to that kind of stuff, right? And so we all had that same type of energy moving into our music, right? And so, yeah, it just one of those things that worked out well. All our influences are kind of all in the same little wheelhouse, right? So,
As the voice of the band, how do you go about writing in general? Do you focus on specific topics, or are you what represents? Are you speaking for the band, kind of a thing?
No, I don't know if I can speak for I just speak for myself. And usually, it's a slow process because so am I. And so I listen to it. We'll have the music done usually. I'll listen to that a lot, and then slowly kind of think of a melody. And then for the lyrics, it's more often than not, you'll listen to a song and it'll kind of make you feel something. And so I try to go with that. Once in a while, I have an idea before and kind of go with that. But usually it's what it makes me feel. Yeah, so that's either something about me and my life, or just something that's happening outside in the world kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you find that when you're in the mode and you're listening to what these guys have created, trying to find what feeling that they're generating can be difficult?
No. Because it always makes me feel something. It's just, when I listen to it multiple times, do I come back to that same thing, or am I all over the place? It's usually when I come back to something, that's where I'm like, oh, okay, this is where I want to go.
Like, oh, this song's making me feel inspired, or this one's making me feel angry. Like those kind of, and that's kind of how I go about it too. It's like, the worst thing is when a band comes up with a working name for the title, and then you're stuck trying to write to that title. Yeah. Because you're like, well, it's not what the title's not what the song makes me feel. Yeah. So how do you personally go about readjusting that so that it works for you as a vocalist?
Well, yeah, I think that would be difficult. And usually the name is the the last thing to come out of it, right? And I just try to keep it. I now try to keep it. The names a little dissimilar, because if they're too similar, Jeremy has a little problem remembering which one is which. So, that's something I'm trying to be more aware of now.
Single names, things like that.
Yeah.
As you guys have created your most recent album, and you're going to be working towards some singles, do you guys have any ideas or visions for doing music videos for your album that you've completed?
Yeah, a couple times. We want to do one that's should we do animated or something, where there's like this deer that comes in to your garden and just like starts ripping apart all your stuff?
Well, that sounds like an angry song.
Yeah, that sounds like an angry song.
I like it.
Yeah.
And what would you call that one?
Like if he came and like took stuff at nighttime.
So like
he'd be like
somebody steals. A thief.
A thief, like a thief at night, or a thief that he comes like in the night. And we have just malicious and takes all his tomatoes and
Love it.
that would suck. We should do that.
Especially as a gardener, you're like, you can see the pain in your eyes. You're like, oh, man.
There was a lot of pain. There was a lot of pain and anger. Yeah.
I think we should capitalize on that pain and anger. And
I do too. I like that idea.
Okay,
let's go with that.
That's our next music video.
Love it.
Or our only music video. Do you know any like music video makers? Who do we call? Yeah, you? All right, so I want this deer that comes at night.
We can make it happen.
Yeah.
Preferably with some kind of like he's the fifth Ninja Turtle, but he's got the black.
It's like the bandits.
You know the thief mask?
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
There's evil. Yeah.
I mean, it feels evil. I think they're just being them, but
No, we gotta make it evil. You want to make it like they're just defending them. They go back to their family and like, here, children, here's all the tomatoes.
No, we don't want them too relatable. That's
Right. So let's just do the straight up.
Straight
Don't
villain.
do
Straight
what he
villain.
said. Do the evil deer. Antlers, nighttime.
I love it.
Sharp in the antlers.
Yeah.
Knife blades.
Yeah, with like, I won't go into detail.
You guys are playing on the 13th of May at the Hub. How many times have you played at the Hub?
A dozen?
It's one of the funnest stages to play on.
Possibly.
It's a nice place to
It
play.
is a really great
The
place.
stage is amazing. The sound is amazing. Matt, the sound guy, is amazing.
Yep.
He is one of the leading people who's kept this music scene alive for forever. He sold me my first set of strings, so it's like, he's a great dude.
He sold me my first amp.
Right?
Yeah.
It's weird to think about how long he's been attached to the music scene, and now he gets to run a venue. It's like one of my favorite things to see.
Back when he was on, what is it, Hanson Street? Or whatever? And he was
For
down-
Skaha Sound.
Skaha Sound, yeah.
When they were down,
Yeah, I remember that.
down Westminster area.
What's been the most difficult thing for you guys to get over as a band, or that you've dealt with up to date?
We're trying to get a mascot that looks like a platypus, and Scott doesn't like it.
I also don't like it.
And Jeff doesn't like it too.
That's news. Let's elaborate on that.
The rhythm section's like,
Platypus.
nope.
Who would want to have a platypus for?
They're a well-loved animal.
That's fine.
That's awesome.
Just no.
I don't know. Seriously? Hardest?
Basically finding time to play because everybody's busy and stuff gets in the way. So we'll go a month, 2 months without playing, and then play for every Sunday, and then 2 months without playing. So that's probably the hardest thing.
Fair enough. When you guys are getting ready to step into the performances again after this album, did you guys plan on going touring? Are you guys planning to tour at all?
I don't know. Right now, we don't know. We'll have to see what comes up, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Just want to play a show. Maybe.
I know the Victoria boys would bring you down.
Yeah, we know a few people down there, and that would be a cool spot.
Victoria's got a wicked punk scene, like Dead Rights.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
And Danger Box is from Nanaimo, and
Okay.
so yeah, they
What was the
definitely.
last one we played with?
Vogue Villains.
Vogue Villains are
Super
wicked
awesome.
too.
Yeah, they were
a lot of
super
fun.
awesome.
Super nice.
And I think that you guys getting to do these shows is a great thing because like it influences a younger generation, right? And nobody really gets to do that. And that's the one thing I wish we had more of is all ages venues in Penticton.
Yes.
So that we could have the younger crowd come to the shows and throw down like we used to back in the day.
You know,
Those are fun.
we played a show January 31st for roller derby, like a fundraiser, and that was at the Portuguese Club.
Okay.
And that's kind of a new venue that's opening up, and there've been a couple more shows there now, and they do all ages there. I was at the last one for Dayglow Abortions, and it was so good. It was so good. The vibe there is really cool, and like I said, kids can come out, and I had some 16-year-old kid beside me, and he was just like so happy. He's like, "Can I pick you up?" I was like, "Go ahead."
Right.
Cradle you.
Yeah. But I think he thought it was lighter because he didn't get me up very high and then kind of dropped me.
That's so funny. That venue, I think that's one of the first places I ever got to play besides Voodoo's.
Really?
Yeah, they used to host shows there a long time ago. So it makes me happy that they're reopening that.
Yeah.
Because that is like it is a perfect place, and that's what we need.
Yeah.
I mean, we only have 2 venues, I think, if that, left in town. The Hub. And yeah, I guess that would be the second one.
Yeah, and they're into it too. Actually, they like it.
That's wicked.
They like the bands coming out. So we just gotta stay respectful, keep the keep the venue good, and we should have it going forward.
Do you think that you would ever dive into adding different genres to it other than punk? Like,
Yeah, we kind of do that naturally.
do you?
Yeah,
Like-
not on purpose.
Like fusion or like
Hey, we don't. I can't distinguish and label it. So I come out with
whatever you
a
feel.
riff or a song thing, and then we turn it into whatever we turn it into.
Love that.
It's not. Yeah, I think our one song "Gone" is like clean and super gentle, sort of, but then it gets aggressive at the end. And we have another song, "Ruins and Ashes." It's like finger picking,
Oh, nice.
right? And it's like got like a chorus effect, and it's like and all like dreamy sounding. That's not very punk. But then we get heavy, and I smash my guitar at the end. So it's we make up for it.
What we know, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of what, if you really look at what punk is created of and how it's evolved itself, there's a unique musicianship that is strictly in the punk genre that does not expand outwards. And I'm curious, as a 4-piece, do you think you would ever add another guitar player to pull lead, or do you pull lead as well?
I tried to fill both.
Damn, that's hard.
It is, yeah.
That is a hard one.
We've tried other guitarists a couple times, but I didn't like the sound. And maybe it's me being picky and I just want to hear my guitar. I'm not sure. But it didn't really work out.
Sure.
I think they might have an opinion on that one.
I have an opinion first. I would say I like what we got going on. So I don't think like in the studio you can add some other parts, right? And try that out. And the studio is kind of its own thing, the record's its own thing. But for live, when we just play, I think, I don't know, I always played with Jeremy, so it would almost be weird to play with another person. For me, anyways. Mm-hmm. How about you, Scott?
Adding another guitar player, whatever, we have to really figure out if it's going to just add volume and more noise, or is it actually going to attribute to the music. But then you also have a bigger issue. It's another schedule to figure out. It's another person that may or may not be reliable. It's just all these issues that go on and on and on with another person in the band, right? Mm-hmm. There's another ego. There's another. It just goes on and on and on. But the scheduling thing is going to be an absolute nightmare. Trying to get 5 people together versus 4.
Yeah.
Right. And so we have a standing jam day. Sunday afternoons we play. My schedule is the one that gets in the way. I work different shifts, so I rotate through a Sunday every once in a while. So that kind of messes things up. But we get back into Sundays again, and we play. So, but if we had another person in the band that worked, kind of a weird shift pattern, it wouldn't work. It's hard enough just with me doing it, right? Mm-hmm. So, another person would just add a layer of complexity that I don't think we just want to deal with.
Fair enough. If you had any advice, I'm going to do it individually for each instrument. Any advice for aspiring drummers that are looking to dive into picking this up as something that they want to do full time, as not necessarily a career, but like, I want to be a musician. What advice would you give them?
Listen to every genre of music, learn every genre of music, play your rudiments, and practice. Get your 10,000 hours behind you, and then go have some real fun.
That's solid. Same question, but for bass.
For me, the bass, I would kind of wish I would have learned to finger pick, because right now I just use a pick, just to add more range. Because if you learn how to do both, then you can do different styles and get a lot more fun with it, I would think. But it's tough to start learning at this point for me.
Once you've become comfortable with pick?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It makes it tough to go back and get the strings right and timing, and so that's pretty much it. And just like you said, just practice as much as you can. Just every day, pick it up, whether you want to or not. Just grab it for. Well, I mean, it's a thing. If you don't want to one day, then the next day you might not want to, and then it just sits on the stand for 2 months, and then you're not learning. So.
No, it's very true.
For singing, I guess, kind of like everything else, which is do it as much as you can. So, we're singing, song comes on, you sing along. I think loving it, where, you don't have a choice. When it comes on, you have to sing. That helps. Practice, obviously. Record yourself, listen to yourself, which is not always fun to do, right? But you can at least learn, where you need work. But yeah, I think just like loving it, and maybe the hardest thing is to let go. Like there's nobody there and you're just singing like you would by yourself. That's probably the hardest thing, but it's like the most rewarding as you approach that, especially if you do it in front of people. As you approach like just being gone in it, that's something that I think for me, if other, I find that's very alluring, and it keeps me coming back. And so probably other people may find the same thing.
Love it.
My turn, eh?
Your turn.
Same question. Don't listen to anybody tell you what to do. Play the music you want to play. Who cares about what the patterns are supposed to be or what the structure is supposed to be? practice, play, and do it out of passion. Don't do it because you think it's cool or something. And don't give up, because there is a lot of skill involved. Yeah, it feels awkward at first. Your fingers don't do what you want them to do, but they will. Eventually you'll be able to do this. Huh? Can you do that?
I can do this.
Right? All right. This is why I play guitar. Oh wait, you don't want that.
What are you,
I love
is this
it.
what you're doing?
All the way down. Okay, he can do it too. But he also played guitar. Oh, yeah.
Guitar players, yeah. No, it's I always ask this question because everyone has had a different story, a different life in how they got into music and how they've continued to be in music, and it's always interesting to hear everyone's perspective and opinion on what advice they would have, because it's always different.
Check out our Spotify. Stuck in Neutral. It's on Spotify. The logo will give it away.
Yeah, because there are other Stuck in
Yeah,
Neutral
there's
bands.
another Stuck in Neutral band in Niagara
Ontario.
Falls,
Niagara Falls.
Okay.
I think, and they're awesome, but they're not us. So I don't want to get them confused with us and us confused with them. So
What's the name of the album?
Still stuck.
still stuck after all these years.
Right,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
look for that one.
this basic black and white Stuck in Neutral logo.
Love it.
Yeah.
This is a wicked album name.
Yeah. Who came up with that one?
Matt.
Nice work, Matt.
Thanks.
That is a wicked album name, especially the way it ties in with your guys' band name. Well, I want to thank you guys all for your story, your time,
Thank you.
and your advice, because it's
Thank you.
It's great to sit down with you guys. I've known Matt for years, but to meet you guys and in person, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to meet all of you and hear your story.
Awesome.
And if you guys would like to be a guest on the show, there will be a QR code at the bottom of the screen that you can scan, and it'll bring you to a form to fill out, and we will be in touch. Once again, I'm Robb O'Day, and for all of us at Story Hive, I want to thank you, and we'll see you next time.